Hey, we got Eric Compton, Mr. Town Business up in here. What's going on, Eric?
What's up, fam? How y'all doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Just going off on these Cavaliers before I even get into talking about the world champion Golden State Warriors back to back.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, you
oh
can go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
oh, 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 oh.
What did you think about? So here's the thing. So did you hear me talk about just now? LeBron James cost his team. He cost his team any chance of winning, and I say that not because of his outright performance, because he still had a LeBronish type performance in the finals. But by the same token, you cannot be the face of the franchise. You cannot be the number one, numero uno, head honcho. HNIC is like what we like to call it in the black community. You cannot be that. And then you go out and you do something so stupid. You know what it's the equivalent to, Eric? It's the equivalent to getting drunk before the PT test. You see what I'm saying?
Not to mention, man, the hands-on game. If you look at his numbers, you know they're different numbers. So they're different between a LeBron James's 30-point game compared to someone like I don't know, Kyle Korver's a 30-point game. They're two different impacts. So yes, he was throwing up good numbers, but at the same time, the brother checked out probably by the end of game 3. Like it doesn't make any sense what he was doing. And not to mention, yes, you are the number one head honcho. You need to be dying on your last shield, not checking out in the middle of the third quarter of a game 4 game.
Exactly.
And you also named a couple of players that, and I'm gonna go back. He's 100%. He needs to be 100% held responsible for this catastrophe that was held the last week and a half or so of the NBA Finals.
Yes.
He wanted to get rid of Jay Crowder. He wanted to get rid of Isaiah Thomas. He wanted to get rid of Kyrie Irving. And in return, you got this. And not to mention, I don't know who the person is that the person that you're referring to. Yes, you can be a scrub in the NBA. Yes, you can. And LeBron James is playing with 3/4 of his teams are nothing but scrubs.
Exactly.
You guys were so happy back in February around right after the All-Star break about Rodney Hood. He averages 17 points. Yes, and the Utah Jazz system offense. Hence why Carlos Boozer never was able to flourish once when he left Utah. Hence why Darren Williams was never able to flourish after he left Utah. So I don't want to hear that as well. You know, Kyle Korver was a good supporting role, but he didn't have he chose this roster that he had. So you make your bed, you lie in it, and now what are you going to do again this year? Are you going to sit there and fire everyone from the popcorn boy all the way down to T. Lue to restart all over? Because that's what's going to have to take if you even want to stay in Cleveland. So LeBron James is 100% responsible for this catastrophe that you guys witnessed as the NBA Finals.
And my thing is this, too. And once again, we're talking to Mr. Town Business himself, Eric Compton, my battle buddy, does Town Business right here at 2:30 p.m., his segment every Thursday. My thing with LeBron James was, bro, like, I understand you were upset. JR made a bonehead move. I got that. But to punch the wall, you know, I put up a post that said, why don't you just do what Michael did? Michael just punched players. Or Kobe. Remember the time Kobe Bryant punched Samaki Walker because he owed him $100?
Or not to mention, Steve Kerr goes around admits the story that as soon as Steve Kerr got on the team, Michael Jordan beat him up just to see what his mental capacity was.
You know,
yeah, you're right. If you want to do that, then punch him him in the face and see what happens.
Exactly. Like, think about it, man. You got like you can go and get Jeff Green, be like, Jeff, let me come here for a second. Then just punch him. Or you can get, like, who else? Who didn't really get any playing time?
Or ask Kendrick Perkins to do it for you, since he's such a great teammate and he's this dude that's about that life and everyone loves the great Kendrick Perkins. Why don't you just get it? Why don't you just hire him to do it?
Bro,
he wasn't even suiting up.
Bro, hold on. Side note. Did you see when Kevin Durant was in the middle of a press conference and Kendrick Perkins came? Kendrick Perkins was in the back and he shot him the double bird, and then he said, "F you, you B-A." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
I heard, yes.
Bro, I was like, wait a minute. But, you know, Kendrick Perkins came out and said, look, when we playing against each other, we not friends. He's like, but I love that dude. He's like, so I wouldn't. He said, I didn't expect any other type of response from him.
Do you know what that is?
What's that?
That's equivalent to loser talk. That's when there's somebody, you sitting there going up to the little homie on the streets and sitting there trying to buck up on him, and he bucks right back on you like, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that. You know what, man? At the end of the day, that's my dog right there. I expect him, and everything, in between goes on. We ain't cool, but at the end of the day, that's the bro. You got punked. You try punking somebody that you thought was going to fold like some cards,
Yeah.
and he sat there and bucked right back up on you. That's what happened. He bucked right back on you, and you folded like a WWE steel folding chair, bro. I don't want to hear it.
Now, look, Eric, I just explained to the listeners and the viewers that, Kevin Love was 17 to 58 off of passes from LeBron in the finals. And then I think he went 26 for 64 for the entire finals. J.R. Smith was only scoring 10 points a game, but he was scoring those 10 points like in the first half. And when he was scoring like 6 to 7 points in the first half and 3 to 4 in the second half. So he wasn't really productive. Rodney Hood came in and gave him 12.5 for the last two games. George Hill disappeared. Tristan Thompson disappeared. Kyle Korver hit one shot the entire finals, only averaged 6 points. What can the Cavaliers do outside of what you said, get rid of everybody, including the popcorn guy? Like, how can they turn this team around? And what do they need to do in order to keep LeBron James?
Well, basically, it does start with what you said. You got a clean house. I think Tristan Thompson can come off the books this year. Kyle Korver can come off the books this year. So what you actually really need to do is legitimately now, and all jokes aside, I did say clear out from the popcorn board all the way down to T. Lou.
Yeah.
But that's literally what you have to do. This team. If you take LeBron James off of this team, how many wins do you think this team will get? Let's be honest with ourselves.
Wow.
20 to 27 games, maybe, if that.
They're definitely going back to the bottom. You
know what I'm saying? So I think you have to clear this team out. And the lack of luxury that they do have is they do have that number 8 pick, which that even ended up biting themselves on the butt because they thought that it was going to be a top 3 pick. But shout out to the Brooklyn Nets to actually not want to actually legitimately tank this season, but they actually won some games, which made it from being a top 3 pick down to now a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
So you can use that as trade bait. You can use maybe Kevin Love as trade bait, as possibly doing maybe like a one-off deal of trying to possibly get someone like, I don't know, Paul George, DeAndre Jordan's out there. They need to start with the defense. They need to start playing defense, and they looked terrible. You can't beat a junior NBA team scoring 33 points in the second half of a basketball game. So they need to start from the inside out.
And hold on. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was going to say this too. When you mentioned Paul George, the one thing that a lot of people don't realize about Paul George is that he needs to go back to the East.
Yes.
As Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I watched Paul George this season. And Paul George is a phenomenal talent, but he burned out after the All-Star break. If you notice that his numbers decreased during after the All-Star break, and not only that, the last game of the series against the Utah Jazz, I think he
for 16.
Yeah, and so he phased out. I think that's because that's what his body was used to. I could do this subpar play and get away with it in the East, but I cannot be subpar like this and get away with it in the West, which is the same thing I think happened to Carmelo Anthony. I think that those two players shifting from the East to the West realize that it's harder playing against a New Orleans, a Houston, a Golden State, a San Antonio, and different types of things, even a Portland Trailblazers, things, even a up and coming Denver Nuggets or the Minnesota. Like there's not a lot of all games.
No hiding. There's no hiding out there in the West. And not to mention, check out these two teams, and I'm very, very interested in seeing what these two teams in the offseason end up doing. Look out for the Washington Wizards as well as the Portland Trailblazers. The Washington Wizards have been this team that everyone's saying that they're going to be up there this year. They're going to be up there this year. But the John Wall, Bradley Beal experiment is not working. So I think I would definitely, if I'm Kobe Altman, I'd reach out to the Washington Wizards to see if any one of those two players are available. And I'll also reach out to the Portland Trailblazers to see if either C.J. McCollum or Damian Lillard would be available. I think I would be leaning more towards Washington just because Washington's been there and done that. And I don't think they're not going to get anywhere closer to what they are.
I don't trust Scotty Brooks. I do not trust
him. And that's another thing. So I would also look out to see that because I would definitely give him a call to see which one of those two players would be available to see if they can play alongside with LeBron James, possibly do that. That's possibly where you could see that number 8 pick getting traded over there if they can keep LeBron James. So first things first is what you need to do is figure out if LeBron James is staying. Once when you do know that he's staying, you can sit there and let everyone on the team know. Don't plan on renewing y'all leases at your homes or extending that mortgage out. So Those are the two teams that I'm very interested in seeing on what they want to do. Look out for DeAndre Jordan possibly being on the move. I'm hearing that he might be going to the Rockets. He is from Texas.
I don't think that's going to be a good experiment either, though.
I don't think it will be either, but the Rockets have known to do some suspect moves, i.e. Ryan Anderson would be one.
I'd rather have Clint Capella than DeAndre Jordan. I mean, he gives you the same. I mean, he may not give you as many rebounds, but I mean, he did lead. Clint Capella did lead the NBA in field goal percentage. So you're bringing the second.
DJ has done the same. Yeah, same thing. It'd be the same washout. So you're right.
He doesn't.
And you probably get him.
Yeah, defensive wise.
Get him out of a lower player. Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, dude. Hold on. Because we're up against a break. Do you have maybe 5 more minutes on the other side of the break so we can actually talk some winter talk with the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do it on the flip side.
We're gonna go against the break. As soon as we come back, man, we'll jump into the 8 what are they 8-1 now in the finals?
8-1 and 31-6 now with Kevin Durant.
Wow, that cupcake! Can't believe that guy would want to go somewhere and win back-to-back championships and back-to-back MVPs. The nerve of you, Kevin Durant! Sports Talk with Big Sarge on CG Radio Network. We'll be right back.